dance for joy or lust or anger, and every time.
Welcome to Sensible Secondhand Classics, the series where we look at practical and sensible cars that you could buy. They're over 15 years old that you can purchase for a budget of between £1,000 and £5,000. This is a 1991 Nissan Figaro, but is it any good? Should you care? Let's find out, shall we? So we don't tend to have too many Japanese domestic car models on this channel. I don't know why, because I own a 1989 Nissan Sunny, so maybe we should have a few more. But this is one of the first ones we've had, and it is actually quite delightful. I quite enjoy this car. I don't know why. It's really just a K10 Micra with an incredibly fancy body and a beautiful interior. But it seems so much more than that. I am trying not to feel self-conscious driving this because it's not a very masculine car, viewers. They probably sold mostly to ladies back in the day. Only available in 1991. Part of what's called the Pike series of cars. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Is it Pikey? I don't know. Which included the POW, the B1 and the Escargot. They were sort of like a special series of cars with sort of retro designs that Nissan made to supplement their vast and sprawling model range. And if you ever looked at just what the Sunnies were like in 1989, so many different variants of them, you can imagine why a few variants of the K10 Micra platform, like the POW and the B1 and the Figaro, and then the weird Escargot van, which I think used some sunny bits, would be desirable someday, particularly in the Japanese bubble economy, where they really weren't that bothered about whether everything made sense. See, it came back to bite them a bit later. This particular car was bought for under £3,500 by Stephen Four Wheels' lady fiance. So I'm very grateful to her. Let me have a go in this car today. I wanted to drive one of these for quite some time. It's a crazy sort of thing, really. Just the fact that they didn't sell these over here at all. They're only ever sold in Japan, only in a very limited production run of 20,000 cars. And even with the second series of them, there was a first series of 8,000, a second series just over 12,000. They actually had to sort of a lottery system because there was such demand to get one of these that only the lucky winners of the lottery actually were able to. It's not unpleasant to drive this. The steering reminds me very much of a K10 Micra, and I drove one of those many years ago on the channel in 2021. It belonged to Alex from Alex's Assets at the time. It was a 1 litre 4-speed manual with 49 horsepower. This 1 litre turbo, the M810 engine, this is called, is a bit faster. It's got 74 horsepower. 0 to 60, I don't really know, actually. I'm not sure. I think it must be over 10 seconds. It can't be a lot. I wonder if you can fit, some engine parts to make these a bit quicker. But yeah, see how it goes. This 3-speed automatic, which is the only option available for the transmission in the Figaro, is okay. It's a bit of a loud car. I wouldn't want to go too far in this. Mind you, I had just done about 500 miles in under a week in the Sunny, so maybe they are more suitable for long distance driving. I don't know. But yeah, it feels very similar to an automatic K10 that I drove many years ago, with 1.2 actually that was, which probably had less power than this, to be honest. But it seems pleasant enough on these country roads in Worcestershire. And the thin rim steering wheel, I've got a very thin rim one in the Sunny, which feels appropriate for this. It feels simultaneously kind of very old-fashioned just because of this interior, and also the fact that it's a little bit on the noisy side in here. But I know the engineering in here is very sort of K10s were quite well made cars. They weren't particularly exciting dynamically or anything like that, but they were quite well made. And this does feel, considering it's 34 years old now, this car, reasonably good quality. Okay, viewers, let's have a look at this little Figaro. So it looks absolutely nothing like a K10 Micra. There really are only a couple of things I can spot on this car which I think are shared in common. One of them is the windscreen wipers and the wiper arms. The second thing is on the inside, it's a little release for the fuel flap. Apart from that, I don't think there are any common parts on the interior or exterior. Obviously underneath the car there are a lot more, but I think that's about it. You either love the look of these cars or you don't. They're not the most masculine looking cars. Stephen, whose lady fiance owns this, and I both have the same feeling when we're driving this, that everyone just looking at us and thinking like, where did you get that car? It's probably not going to do wonders for your sort of macho image driving one of these, but I know plenty of chaps who actually enjoy these anyway, so maybe we're just being a bit silly, I don't know. This is a colour called Lapis Grey. There were 4 colours available originally in 1991. All Figaros were made in 1991. Topaz Mist, which represents autumn, it's like a beige colour. Emerald Green for spring. Pale Aqua for summer. And then there's Lapis Grey for winter. For some reason, I think this is the most common colour. I could be wrong. They initially made about 8,000 of these, but actually the demand was so high that they made another 12,000 and production was just over 20,000 in total. I think actually for a lot of the later ones you had to enter a lottery to get one. So I don't know if you paid for a slot or something, or it was just your name entered into a hat, but they were that popular. There are several thousand in this country. I wasn't able to find a figure exactly how many there are over here, but yeah, they're actually relatively common cars in sort of classic car terms. And the Owners Club for these, oh my goodness gracious me, I have never seen a more enthusiastic club than the Figaro Owners Club. They have a video on their YouTube channel that's over an hour detailing all the common faults with these. They have 200 other videos as well about things. The website's got over 1,000 pages on it. If you want information about these cars, but it's really out there, I just don't have time to go over all that today. So we're not actually going to get this roof off because that is a little bit tricky, so we're not going to do that. Also, it fills up this space in here, which you can use for luggage if you want, or to store the roof. You've got a choice in that way. Really kind of what you want to do though is put the luggage behind the rear seats, and we're going to demonstrate that in a second, because I don't think we're getting in there, despite the fact that Mr. Manning from the Matty's Cars channel requires that I go in the back of every 2 or 3 door car. I don't think we're going in there today, viewers. Apologies, Mr. Manning. So, Stephen's lady fiance's got her lady cushions in here, so apologies, viewers, if you're, you know, I don't know, not impressed by such things. I think it suits the car, so I'm going to leave those in. Right. No. Problem is that this piece of bodywork here actually stays fixed. It's a bit like a 2CV or something in that respect. So even if I were to remove the roof, I still have this problem of getting in. So really, that is for your luggage, and that's about it. Unless you are quadriplegic or something, I don't think it's going to be in any way practical to get in the back. So we're not going to, viewers. We're going to put that back. I'll adjust the lever in a sec, and we'll get in the front, which means we're going to then open this sort of boot area here. You can also put things in the little tiny compartment where the spare tyre lives. But we'll show that in a second. There's really not a lot of room in there. So your best bet if you want to do your shopping is to put it in the back. And actually that's quite a large area, so that should be fine. What's going on, autofocus? So, Figaro key. Excellent. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh, it doesn't stand up on its own. Oh yeah, well there's the spare wheel and the jack. I mean, you can put some stuff on top of there, but I mean, that's awkward. You have to get a stay or something. Best not use that then, viewers. Let's open up this section here. Especially if you've got like long fingernails, it's really difficult to get this open. I mean, if this car was aimed at Japanese ladies in cities, well, Japanese ladies in cities are going to get their nails taken off by that, so it's not great really. So there's quite a lot of space in here. If you wanted to not put this roof down, which I'm actually not going to do, then yeah, there's plenty of room in here for whatever it is that you actually need. The only thing is, I'm a little bit concerned about what would happen if I just let this drop. So I'm going to be very careful at putting it back. So we'll just see if we can do this. Okay, here we go. You can see you've got to get your fingers sort of out like that. I hope it's close. Okay, you can see it's just not much room to stick your fingers in there. That's interesting, viewers. Also, that the door pockets are really, really slim to this car. I think maybe in a K10 they're not big anyway, but they're quite small, although you do have these incredible window switches in here. Look at that, it's like shells. This one actually a power shop window for the driver. So if we get in here, very thin rim steering wheel, that was typical Nissan at the time. Down there, I mean, it's hard to see this, but down here you can see a little black switch. That is for releasing the a cover for the roof, or that compartment I just showed you. Down there is the classic Nissan bonnet pull. Also this dash, if there aren't any common parts on here, apart from, I think I mentioned before, this little release here for the fuel flap, I think that's it. The rest of it is bespoke. Although it looks like a K10 or my N13 Sunny, you have to press that button on there to release the key if you put that in. So we've got a lever for the aerial, one for the heated rear window. These are warning lights actually. We've got handbrake light, seatbelt light, oil, I think it's an engine light, reading window and a battery. So there's no warning lights actually on this dash bit at all, I don't think, apart from at the top there, which is the indicators. We can just, there we go. That's air conditioning, standard air conditioning on all of these, and also standard 3-speed automatic. Yep, same 3-speed automatic as in the K10. I drove a 1.2 automatic K10 in about 2009 or something like that, and it was very slow. This is a little bit faster than that with a little turbo. Also, in this car, we've got the upgraded stereo. I think they're made by Clarion, this particular unit, and for this car particularly, and someone's put a Bluetooth system in there and actually made it look like, you know, it's original to the car, which is brilliant. And then we've got the heater controls there, which actually just have the lettering in English for some reason. Face, foot, defrost, recirculation, fresh, cold, hot, off, 1, 2, 3. There we go, viewers. And then glove box, which I don't think we're getting the secret mission documents in. We do have in there now an aux cable and a USB, which is fantastic. It feels very different in here from a K10. Like everything's just different. This big dash and you know, this kind of covering for all the surfaces, this sort of white vinyl or plastic bit. It feels like a much older car than 1991, which is of course the idea, isn't it? Look at this steering wheel as well. The only Nissan badge I've seen on the car is a tiny bit on the front, next to where it says Figaro. That's about it. So got normal handbrake, got a ashtray down there. The speakers in the doors, I think we might only get 2 speakers, I don't know. And then you have to be careful you don't knock your head at getting in and out of this all the time as well, because you're tall. But it's reasonably comfortable. We've got these proprietary wiper and lights and indicator stalks. I kind of quite like this car. I know I shouldn't. It shouldn't appeal to me particularly. It should appeal to my lady wife or Stephen's lady fiance. But I kind of quite like it in its own sort of way. I like it more than I expected, actually, it is. I don't know why, but yeah, it's got its own sort of charm, really, isn't it? Anyway, let's have a look under the bonnet, shall we? Like on a K10 or a Mark II Fiesta, the bonnet actually opens forward. And here we have the engine. It is called the MA10ET engine. The MA engines are related a bit to the E-Series engines, like the one in my Sunny. This car had, or has, an aftermarket towed system on it, which means that whoever imported this car, which was, I don't know, whenever it was, really wanted no one to steal it. I believe this is definitely a turbo engine. I think it's got fuel injection as well, which I don't think the K10s in this country ever got. It's an engine that's out of the March Super Turbo, which is the Japanese version of the K10 Micra. It runs about 74 horsepower, something like that. It's a bit more difficult to work on this than a K10 because the bonnet area is so much bigger on that, and it's much flatter design, so a little bit more difficult than on a standard K10. The cam belt is that side, that's just been changed on this car, which is a good idea, because Stephen had no idea how old the cam belt was.
but it looks okay because the Owners Club support on these cars is so good. I mean, if you have this really common issue with them, which is the rear arches start to rust, like these are just about starting to do down there, you can get the panels for the wheel arches. You can get all sorts of things for them. The Owners Club is just incredible, really. A very loyal and dedicated group of people, which is what you want if you're owning a classic car. And, you know, these cars start from £3,000. This car cost just over that, but it's had some work done to it, so it's more worth like £4,000 now. And you can pay anything up to 10,000 or more for the Figaro if it's really nice or it's a really rare colour or something. Yeah, I think it's good, viewers. Let's take her out on the road, shall we?
One surprising thing about this Figaro is the turning circle. It's actually bigger than my Sunny, which is really strange. I don't quite know why that would be, but there we go. Yeah, it's actually very, very easy to drive this car. It's not a problem at all. The visibility is really good. Because the windscreen's so close to you, it's close to with a normal K10. You can see everything. You can see when the bonnet falls away. You can actually get a parking one for one of these if you wanted to. It actually would be quite useful to see where the front of the car is when you're parking in a tight Japanese city, if you're in Tokyo or something. But yeah, you know, the steering is fine. I think it is power assisted in this car. I've driven a K10 without power steering. You can definitely feel that it was a little bit heavy at parking speeds. So, you know, I can see it was sort of perfectly rainbow. You've got air conditioning, automatic gearbox, electric windows with power shut driver's window with a power steering. But actually, it would be a very desirable car to somebody back just under 35 years ago. Why you want to enter the lottery if you wanted to get one of these limited production cars. I didn't expect to like this car actually as much as I do, but I kind of see its purpose, and I know my lady wife would actually really like something like this. I mean, she says she doesn't want one, and that's fine because I'm still a little bit self-conscious about driving this and what people are thinking of me going around in this. But for someone who's really into like quite a usable, pretty reasonably priced classic car with very, very good Owners Club support, that actually isn't as old-fashioned as something from, say, the 50s or 60s. I've driven enough things like an MG Midget or something like that, or a Triumph Herald, to kind of know that actually they have a lot more compromise to own something like this. This has got a turbo, it's got fuel injection, it's got a relatively modern engine in it. Where the rust is, well, like a lot of early 1990s Nissan, the rust is quite a problem on these. But, you know, it's certainly without the compromises of, you know, gearboxes with no cigarettes on first and no brake servo and things like that a lot of, you know, 60s British cars actually have. Then I understand why this makes all the sense, and understand why owners, both ladies and gents, actually think this is a great car to own. I understand that. So thank you very much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment below. Thank you to Stephen from Stephen's Four Wheels and his lady fiance for letting me have a go in this car today. Be sure to go and have a look at his channel as well for more interesting stuff. He's got tons of cars actually. I've driven an Alfa Romeo Brera and Mercedes SLK. And we shall see you again soon for some more reasonably priced nostalgic motoring.